Okay, so today we are also talking about some of the physical challenges that we did face being in an age gap, first of all. Yes. And of course,
You is black and I is white. Is it because I is ginger?
so it's so funny. It kind of, initially when you came in the country at first, yeah, I didn't know how society was going to react.
Yeah, but I've said it before, we place too much influence on what society says. I said
Yeah,
it in the last
yeah,
video,
yeah.
it's societal.
We do. But personally, at that point, I didn't quite know what reaction, because when it came to family, yeah, I will be open about that. When it came to family, the entire for quite some time, everyone was talking about how she's getting married. She has an old man. Eh, old man was a song all through. This is, I think you never really paid much attention on this.
No, because everyone's entitled to their opinion, isn't they?
Exactly.
And no one's opinion bothers me.
But society has a way of, bringing it out. If you're not strong at heart, believe me, you can actually let go a relationship that is meant to be great simply because of what people are talking. I'll come first, family.
Yeah, but let's be honest about the hypocrisy of that.
Mm-hmm.
Him is dating an old man, it's terrible. Oh, we need some money for this. Let's go and ask the old man for it because he's white. And so there's a hypocrisy involved in
Yes.
this, and probably even a level of jealousy.
Yeah. Now, I'll first talk about the family side of things. Oh my God. I think the people who gave us their support was basically mom and dad, because they're the major people that played a role, okay, for us to actually be husband and wife. Now, outside of that, yeah, siblings, like you're getting married to an older person, friends, oh my God, it's this and this. Have you seen the man? Are you getting all of that?
Yeah, but what are they like after they've met me?
Their impression is entirely different after meeting you.
Exactly. That's it. We can look at people and just say, oh, there's an age gap, and then not realise why. And the reason why older men are interested in younger black women is because when I met you, you was what, 26?
No.
25?
Maybe 23.
No, you wasn't 23.
24.
Something like that. But and it sounds horrible, but it goes down to the hard knock life of being an African child growing up in the village and having to be independent. I get the same level of maturity from you as I sometimes, not all the time, because sometimes you do act like a 30-year-old, but most of the time, in a lot of ways, I get the maturity of a 40-year-old in the UK. Because girls in the UK get everything done for them. They're not expected to cook. They're not expected to clean. They're not expected to do anything. So a 22, 23-year-old African girl who's grown up in Africa has got the maturity of a 40-year-old English white girl.
Wow.
So whereas normally in the UK, say for instance I was 45 and dated a 26-year-old, it would drive me mad. So I'd literally be dating a child. But it's different here with a woman that age here. It's very different.
Now I get it.
It's so different because, look at even my own daughter Healy, who's quite self-sufficient.
Yeah. She's an amazing girl.
But her level of maturity is not the same as someone who is the same age who's grown up in Africa.
Yeah.
Because parents put a lot on their daughters in Africa. And sort of like if I date someone who's 50, they've probably been married a couple of times, been beaten up a few times, and you've got all those barriers to deal with. You've got all that emotional nonsense that comes with it. Whereas if you date an African girl 26, might have been in a bad relationship before, but their whole life hasn't been built on badness.
I was from a bad relationship as well.
Yeah, but your life hasn't been built on it. You've not been in it for years and years and years.
Yeah,
and years.
I moved on, and I thank God for that.
But yeah, so that is why. That is the reason that I say that it was from travelling in Africa that made me like African women.
Mm-hmm.
Because there is there's a little bit of culture there.
Mm.
Too much culture is probably a bad thing. If you've got just the right measure of it, and yeah, so that's part of the reason.
Oh well. Other than that, while we kept moving every single time, you're someone who holds hands a lot. I call him my handbag because everywhere I go is there. We're like an open book. Hi, handbag.
Hi, old bag.
So everywhere we move, people kept throwing these, certain words towards us. She's with her granny. She's with this, and the fact that outside of this wig, I have a very childish face.
Got a baby face, like a little baby.
Outside of this wig, I have a very childish face. So this is the only way. And to make matters worse, I have a very tiny body. So at the end of the day, people will be looking at you like,
I don't care when people say it.
That's a young girl,
I don't care what they say. I don't care what they
do. You don't really give an ear to it. I don't
shut it out.
But society, moving out there, you're holding hands, someone is throwing words, which is so very much insensitive, to be honest, when looking at the fact that time has changed a lot. Yeah. And I don't think, but one thing I know is the African society, some things are still.
Yeah, but what you've got to remember is most of the people that made the comments, what were they? What gender were they, men or women?
Both.
I thought the majority was men.
Yeah.
Men who were sort of like 30s.
Actually, majority were men making comments.
So it's men who have seen a good-looking woman that they would really love to be with, that's with an older white guy, and it's just driven by jealousy because you've taken, you know what, I've gone in the shop and I've bought the last pint of milk and they wanted it. So that's why it doesn't, in some ways, it's a compliment. So I don't know.
It was tough at first, but I gave a deaf ear towards that. And right now, I mean, look at me. I do not care.
Yeah, and sort of.
That's the thing now I have.
You've got to remember, people are entitled to their opinions. We're not entitled to change their opinion.
Yeah, true.
And if their opinion is small-minded and little, then it's small-minded and little. It's not for us to change it. There's people at work who think I'm the hardest person in the office, and there's other people at work who think I'm the softest person in the office. They're both entitled to that opinion.
Exactly. Though, the professional side of you, I kind of hate it.
Why?
You're just too much. That's why I always ask you to keep that side away from me.
Why?
Huh?
What's too much about it?
Your professional side, the professional side of you. It's not something I want to see.
Okay.
Brutal. Looking at the nature of your job as well. But I like you when you're more like this.
There's just no real difference to professional me.
Oh, well.
Just I haven't got a job to do.
Exactly. So, other than that, having said that and all, a lot of people, when you are in this kind of relationship, marriage, expect certain things like that to come your way.
But you've got to ask yourself what are the advantages as well. The advantages are, even though what I said earlier, my maturity brings something to you, such as the business. Like my experience brought something to the business, and you picked it up and you've learned from that. But also being with someone who's like 30 gives me more energy and makes me feel a little bit younger, and I get to experience different things because of your age. Does that make sense? That, you know what, if I was with someone my own age...
You realise you have a very youthful spirit.
I know, but also there's things I experience with you that I wouldn't experience with someone of my own age. So there are positive sides to there being an age gap, that you've got this wealth of experience you can turn to, who's what, 23 years older than you, so you've got 23 years more experience, and especially with the business more than most things, but in fact, I've got this problem and I generally know the answer. And there's other times when sort of like there's things I need to know that I don't know because I'm not of that precise generation, and you are. Yeah. And like, yeah, so if it's balanced, it's cool. If you've got one person who says, I'm everything because I'm older, I'm everything, so I've got nice boobs. If one of you is sort of dominating this, it's unhealthy. But if you're partners, then you've got so much to learn off each other. And so, like, bro, I had no interest in makeup whatsoever. I knew nothing about makeup. I knew nothing about skincare.
Now you're the perfect makeup, how do I put it? Sourcing makeup products?
Yeah, now...
You're just so good at it.
Now I know what products to buy. And Imi brought that to me. I would never have even looked at it and never realised how cool it was. And then Imi had the passion and like the knowledge about that, and I had the business knowledge. And when those two come together, you can create something really special. And that is dependent on the age gap and jobs I'd done before and training I'd had that gives you a head start. Yeah. Because you haven't got to do 2 years training at Starbucks, a year's training at Burger King, another so much time learning about management and getting paid a pittance by someone else. So yeah, there's benefits to it.
Yeah,
so
there are benefits to it. It's not
all
all
negativity.
Well,
are we done?
I hope this...
I'm too old for this now.
What do you mean?
I just want to go and sleep. I've done too much now because I'm 53 and like it's past my bedtime. Not afternoon snooze.
Thank you, guys. We're done for today.
We go home now.
It's nap time.
No.